Hey everybody. So today marks 523 days since our nightmare began. It's been a long, hard 17 months. Our lives forever changed by the actions of social workers, the actions of the medical examiner's office, and the actions of a lot of our community. Wednesday, we had our court-ordered visit with CPS. I don't like what it does to my kids. I went and picked up my son yesterday from school, and his teacher said, "Did something happen? David wasn't focused at school today. He didn't want to do anything today." And I just looked at her and I said, "I'm not sure if you're aware, but we have CPS in our lives right now. And he gets like that every time." You know, we're not talking about an animal, a toy. We're talking about 9 lives forever changed. We're talking about children that were 1, 2, 7, 8, 10, 11, and 12 when they left my home. These kids have faced far too much than they should ever had to. I see them struggling. I sit with my son at nighttime when he has his questions. My court orders state I can't talk to my kids about the case. I can talk to them if they ask me a question. I have no answers when they ask me why their social workers haven't been held responsible. Seven amazing kids. I can't wrap my head around how anybody considered this the best interest of any child. I sit here in my house all alone while my 2 babies attend daycare. Why? Why would it be in the best interest of 2 babies who were ripped from their mother's arms at 1 and 2 years of age to be continued forced out of her life? When my baby left, he was barely walking. He was on a bottle. Just a few little words. When he returned, he was running and jumping on a big boy cup and talking full sentences and could sing. I can't get that back. It's a pain that nobody should ever have to face. But you know what? We're not the only people facing it. I've had so many people contact me and tell me their stories of social workers lying, falsifying documents. This has got to end. This agency needs to be shut down and started completely over again. What is it going to take for somebody to do something? I have gone through our court, our children's attorney, CPS, CASA, OIG, Office of Consumer Affairs, Judge Specia's office, the Sunset Committee, and the Select Committee. But our nightmare still continues. I don't think I'm asking for too much. You're talking about 7 children who are fully committed to church, who sung in the choir, who have maintained an AB honor roll throughout their whole school years. 7 kids who left my house not ever being spanked or yelled at. And today, they struggle. They have fear. People keep saying, you need to stop going on Facebook. You need to stop telling your story. That's not in the best interest of your child. Really? Was it in the best interest of my child to leave them in a foster home where they were physically and sexually assaulted? What is in the best interest of a child to falsify court records, to approach a medical examiner who is supposed to be unbiased? It is in the best interest of a child to tell him that he can't tell anybody about what he faced in foster care. Is it in the best interest of a child to send the mother a letter and say that all their claims were lies when I can verify they were telling the truth? The agency that let down my kids are now calling them a liar? I will not allow anybody to re-rape my children through the public. This is not fair. This is not right. And this is certainly not justice. Imagine yourself in my position. Imagine not having your kids for 377 days. Imagine you being told to all the public that you killed your son, that you abused your kids, that you starved them. Imagine that they report that you are a pathological liar. Imagine your home being surrounded in gas, being chased down. Imagine having to comfort 7 children whose hearts are broken, who are scared, and who think that they don't matter. I'm just a mom trying to get accountability, trying to get justice, and trying to help my kids move on. My court says I have to work with my social workers. Really? What do I do when they won't return my phone calls? When they won't respond to my text messages? I'm still waiting on the call from my social worker that I left last week, asking for help to get my kids enrolled in school. I'm still waiting 30 days later on a report of how the investigation of my children's assault that Judge Dean told social workers to get with me about. Us parents have to follow orders to the T. And if we dare miss one thing, they seek termination of parental rights. We have spent our whole life savings. My husband was working 7 days a week. And so we had scheduled visits. And my husband would show up around 2 minutes late for the visits because he had to work. And they reported to the courts that my husband comes late to all of his visits. What do you expect? We have 4 bonds to pay off, although all charges were dropped. We have 3 attorneys that we have to pay off. We have bills. They say your rights can be terminated if you can't prove to us that you can support them. Really? Perhaps if we haven't spent over $160,000 fighting, we could do that. Today, we struggle. You don't know what it feels like to almost have to go without sleeping, having to work 7 days a week just to save your kids. My husband does. He had to sell my ring. I don't know, it had to kill him to do that. But our children are our whole lives. And we will do whatever we have to protect them. I gave birth to 6 of these kids. And I've raised my daughter since she was 6 weeks old. Sadly, I have no custody of them.